Hello, welcome. This video is just all about how to win as a beginner, business owner, agency owner. Maybe you're not brand new. Maybe this is a new project though, or maybe you're just new to, this program and how this is all going to work. But this is just like some really good information, kind of a mindset check. The good news is we've done this for hundreds of other clients. So the beautiful thing is this will 100% work, which is nice. But you still got to go through the journey. You got to still ride the roller coaster of entrepreneurship just like everybody else. So let's get into it. So again, how to win as a beginner or new agency owner. The biggest thing is feedback loops are your biggest ticket. Okay. So the feedback loop is you try something, you get feedback, you fix it, try again, you get feedback, you fix it, and you improve and you improve and you improve. This is literally like the human experience, all of it essentially. And basically going through these feedback loops is your key to scaling. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, $1 million a month. It's just repeating your feedback loops, getting information, getting data, and then making adjustments so that you can improve and become better. The only reason anyone is further along than you in this journey is not because they're smarter, not because they're more skilled, not because they have top secret knowledge, etc. The only reason they are further ahead of you is simply because they have completed more feedback loops than you. Here's the definition of a feedback loop. A feedback loop is a process in which the output of results of a system are fed back into the system as inputs, influencing future outputs. It's a mechanism of self-regulation, learning, and adaptation. Put differently, a feedback loop is simply a way to improve the outputs of a particular system by implementing feedback. Action, result, feedback. New action, new result, feedback. New action, new result, etc. Our sole goal and focus should be to complete as many feedback loops as humanly possible in the quickest time frame possible. This is the key to you getting your first few clients, ultimately growing to 10,000 plus a month and beyond. Time plus revenue and feedback loops is going to get you there. It's not a question of if our process works. We have hundreds of results proving it does. The only question or unknown is if you take action, get feedback, and change your behavior as a byproduct. If you constantly commit to this process, you will get results even if you're starting from zero with just an idea. Volume negates luck. Number 2. Okay, so this is Alex Hormozi, but it's just truth. Oftentimes beginners severely underestimate the volume required for success. For context, people look at me and where our company is today and think, wow, but they don't realize that I've spent 7 years of my life running ads and marketing for different agencies, coaches, AI agencies, all sorts of online businesses. It's all I've done. And with my personal life, I've also spent tens of millions of dollars on this whole process of getting feedback loops, setting up businesses, testing different things. In other words, I've done so much volume that it would be unreasonable for me not to be successful. Now, I'm not saying you need to spend 7 years to be successful in your business, since because you are in the program, you can simply piggyback off the experience. However, what I am saying is that if you launch your first batch of ads, for example, they don't perform, then you throw the towel in because it's not working. And that would be like 6 years and 51 weeks ago after I quit 1 week after launching my ads, right? My agency, and didn't sign a client. All right, it's unreasonable and illogical. The volume negates luck. The more volume you do, whether it's running ads, creating creatives, more sales calls, more services delivered, the better you will become and the more successful you will be. I had to take 3 months worth of sales calls, not closing a single deal when I was first starting out, okay? Back-to-back calls every single day before I could consistently close at above 30%. I mean, when I first started out, I had to do literally 3 months of sales calls every single day, back to back to back, just to get to closing at 30% or better. And that was just because I did it over and over and over and over and over, and I got better and better. But if I had never have done that, I never would have gotten any success. Okay, so it was just what I had to do in order to succeed. Then I had to go through 14 different sales reps before I could find one that could perform at the same level as I could. Okay, I now know what to look for sales reps, and I know I can do that a lot better for you guys as well. Literally ran thousands and thousands and thousands of ads, and only now our ads are performing better than they ever have. I had to run thousands of ads. I had to take thousands of sales calls. I had to build thousands of funnels just to get to the point where I know what works, and you get to piggyback off of that success. But if I had quit, if I had not done the volume, I never would have gotten the success. What you put in is what you get out, okay? And the more you put in, the more you will get out. But I'm no different from you. I've just done a truckload of more volume than you have. Number 3, Logic versus emotion. So whenever we're running a business or whenever we're dealing with life, sometimes we like to make decisions based on emotion and neglect our logic. Okay. And it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. I do it all the time. I get emotional when things are breaking, especially when you're at the level that I'm at. When things get funky, you start to get emotional and things tend to get hard. Okay. And as hard as this sometimes is, logic is always better than looking through the lens of emotion. And trust me, when I say hard, I struggle with this sometimes. For example, a major business problem occurs. My team needs to remind me, use your logic over emotion. Since our human instinct is to immediately feel emotional and react emotionally to a bad situation, logic is reasoning based on facts, evidence, and rational thinking. Emotional is a feeling-driven response arising from personal experience, desire, or instinct. An example when I decide to use logic as emotion is extremely important. Like when you're looking at your ads, it's very easy to get emotional and just say, oh, I feel like this isn't performing. But then when you actually use your logic and you look at the data, or if you've done, thousands of ad campaigns in multiple different industries, like I have, the logic has to be there. You have to look at the data as opposed to the emotion. Otherwise, you'll probably just be shutting off all your best ads, right? It's not good. Even if you feel emotion, the ads aren't performing. If we look at the data together and I can see that actually your numbers are really good, set your feelings or emotions aside and focus on the evidence and the data. This is really big when it comes down to marketing, because if we are making emotional decisions when we actually have good data, again, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Or if you feel you're unable to close, instead of feeling negative or feeling like you won't ever be able to close, we simply need to take a logical approach to reviewing your sales calls together, identify the core constraints or problem, and immediately put a plan together to fix it, which of course we will always work with you and make you better because we are in your corner. So just whenever you're making big decisions or you're looking at things in your business, especially if you don't really understand it, try and look at it from a logical point of view, review the data, the numbers. Don't look at it from an emotional point. Okay. Important note on the content: if you're just starting out or if you have just a few clients, throughout us working together, you're going to hear me say things like, you have to have results. We only work with people above 25K a month. We don't work with beginners, etc., etc. And that's just because a lot of the course is meant for very high level business owners and you're getting access to it even if you're a beginner, but that doesn't mean anything, okay? The reason that this is because our current training is for a higher ticket package, which costs $20,000, and added them to this program for higher tickets so you can get, you're getting the same videos that goes into our bigger package. Okay, that's the only reason that it says that sometimes. That being said, I wanted to include this in the program since it's extremely valuable and 100% applicable no matter where you are, whether you have 0 clients or you're already doing $25,000 or more a month. Whenever you hear me say that, don't freak out. This offer in its entirety, this entire thing is for beginners or anybody who's really trying to sign more clients. Okay, if you want to grow and sign more clients, then you are in the best place on the planet. Final note, over the next 4 months, let's finish by saying this. If you lock in for the next 4 months, you throw every available minute into training, you look at the overall system from a logical standpoint, you consistently identify the constraints with your funnel, you ask for help, you implement the feedback, you constantly take action, you come back the next day with updates and results, you get more feedback and reaction, and you never give up, this will work. You will hit your goals. You will grow your business. The only way it won't work is if you throw in the towel and you give up before you find success. Okay, I know you've seen this little image before. It's very cliche, right before he hits the diamonds, he gives up. But during the next 4 months, you will feel nervous, you will feel scared, you will feel anxious, feel incapable, you'll have imposter syndrome. The maybe this isn't for you, the maybe you're not good enough, the maybe you're not cut out for this. The biggest thing that you need to understand is everyone feels like this. Even myself at the level that I'm at, I still get these feelings sometimes, okay? Every single person who's successful feels the same things, okay? It's not just you. You're not in this alone. I feel a lot of these negative emotions every single week. The only difference between someone who finds success and scales their business is not if they feel these emotions or not, because everyone does, but rather the actions they take despite these emotions. Do you feel these emotions and give up, or do you feel these emotions and continue mining, continue moving forward, putting one step in front of the other? That's the only difference between those who join this program and scale and those who join this program and fail. And it's up to you to decide which person you want to be. You do have a choice. You can continue going and continue being successful and keep pushing forward, and you will reach success. Just don't quit. Those are the biggest things for your mindset in the beginning. Again, number 1, it's all about feedback loops. Number 2, volume negates luck. Number 3, use your logic over your emotions. And number 4, keep going. Do not quit, and you will be successful. All right. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you in the next one.